Well, my fellow Spartans and elites, we gather here today because we probably all feel very much the same. Halo Infinite is in a bit of a rough spot for many reasons. But Halo Infinite isn't a terrible game. When it launched, it saw some astronomical numbers. I mean, Halo Infinite saw over 20 million players worldwide hopping in to check it out. That is incredible. And there is something very precious and incredible that 343 has made with Halo Infinite. But there is one daunting problem, one thing that just ruins everything for Halo Infinite, and it's what is Halo's identity at this point. Now you might think at first, Halo's core is its gameplay. That is what makes Halo Halo. And I would argue with that in saying that Halo's identity is its social atmosphere. The community around Halo that was built around it being a social experience. Any Halo fan will tell you that their most fond memory, their greatest memory from Halo back in the day was with a friend or a group of friends. My first memory of Halo was a friend introducing me to the game. Ashley, she showed me Halo because her brother had an Xbox and I didn't have an Xbox, and there was this really cool shooter that you could play 1v1, just like the GoldenEye days. I remember being absolutely blown away, no pun intended, by the physics of this game alone. The graphics, I had never seen anything really like it. Seeing my character fly across the screen, getting blasted by a spanker, watching my arms flail, this was all new and hooked me instantly. Now thankfully, my brother got an Xbox shortly thereafter, and that's when my Halo career really took off. Inviting my friends for sleepovers on every weekend, maybe even getting a few Xboxes, having even up to 16 of us crammed in a basement, sweaty teenagers all gaming some solid Halo. That is what made Halo great, the social aspect of it. And yes, I know the days of us all hanging out with each other like the old days are fewer, but that doesn't take away from what 343 was missing with Halo Infinite at launch. There were many things that 343 deemed worthy to not have upon launch, or were just features that were flat out broken. Features like Firefight, Forge, Theater, game modes like Infected, Team Doubles, which I know has recently been added, but now 343 put out a statement saying that they're going to monitor the servers because it's not very popular. Well, it would have been popular if this was available upon launch, but Halo Infinite is seeing some of its lowest numbers in player count, and this is why. I love Team Doubles. I would be totally playing Team Doubles if I was playing Halo Infinite right now. Now, we were given custom games, but they were broken and still are broken as far as I'm concerned. We're missing a service record, a progression system outside of just the battle pass. No one cares about leveling up a battle pass in Halo. It would be an awesome added feature if you were unlocking all these things as you were leveling up your service record and showing off your stats. Back in Halo 3 and Halo Reach, I loved unlocking customizables. That was a huge added feature from Halo 2. And with all that, we could dive even deeper in the fact that we're missing classic maps, classic weapons like the shotgun, SMG, DMR, which I know is in works right now, but the plasma rifle, brute shot, Spartan laser, beam rifle, all the Promethean weapons. That's just to name a few. And I don't expect all of that, all of the classic maps, to be given to us upon launch. But with a year delay and 9 months now being into the game's life, I would have definitely expected maybe even some of those features. And one of my favorite features from Halo 2 that was added was the ability to play as the Elite. We have been asking for this since Halo Infinite has launched. And I know that competitively speaking, having a creature that looks different with a different hitbox makes the gameplay different and just maybe makes one have a certain advantage over the other. But no one cares about that. If we're playing ranked, then yes, make it Spartan versus Spartan. That makes sense. But just axing the ability to play as elites and that whole customization that you could have gone with, or even maybe now brutes because they've been the main focus, maybe have some banished brutes that you could play as, I think that could have been wicked. And instead of this multiplayer story that we're getting that doesn't make absolutely any sense in my opinion, because it's Spartan versus Spartan, yet we're having a story. It's stupid. If they had elites and the banished integrated into the multiplayer, they could have just had that story added to the game and it would have made way more sense and been way more interesting. But instead, we got Lone Wolves Season 2, the season of anti-socialism, because it's based on you playing in a mode where you're meant to play by yourself. And most of the challenges that are affiliated with this are all towards playing by yourself. And this is where it all stems from. Halo is meant to be a social experience, not a game where you're just farming challenges in a single player mode. You're meant to be grinding plasma rifle kills so that you can maybe get a cool plasma rifle charm or skin. I know that's maybe kind of taking from Call of Duty, but these are things that we need in first-person shooter games. A progression system like I mentioned earlier, something that keeps us pushing forward, because a battle pass is not enough. And I think the real problem stems from beyond just Halo Infinite. I think shooters over the last 10 years have really just strayed away from the social aspect. And I do understand harassment can be a thing, but there's also a thing where you just press X if you're playing the Xbox and it mutes all of the enemies instantly. This feature alone should just be the default for all games. Battlefield 2042 didn't even have voice chat at first. Thankfully, Halo Infinite does have it, but it's default set to being turned off. So that's great. I can talk to my buddies or random people that I might meet as I'm playing Halo Infinite. But there are no pre and post game lobbies. This alone keeps players' retention and servers lively. Instead of having to select a mode every time you complete a match, which takes you out of the experience, you get, let's say, 3 map options with 3 game types, or a none of the above option. This little feature alone gets players thinking, maybe I'll play just that one more match because my favorite map's on with my favorite game type. This also gives you the ability to show off the cool gear that you've been grinding. Even if it was just through the battle pass, at least you'd be able to show off what you've earned as you've been playing, instead of just seeing it at the very beginning of the match when you only get to see your teammates. And I know I didn't even mention everything, like theater being a crucial aspect to this game. Forge, that whole side of the community, is a major component that, yes, is coming, but it should have been here at launch. Firefight, a PvE mode that I grew up loving and am truthfully missing. That's a whole section of the community that has just been severed off. The ability to play Team Slayer when the game came out, you couldn't even do that. I was blown away. This hadn't been added for at least a few months. Selecting game modes, having a filter to play only certain types. These are things that are in the Master Chief Collection, and Call of Duty has been doing this for years, yet in Halo Infinite, for whatever reason, we have all these clustered playlists. But anyways, all of that to say, guys, what is Halo's identity? Well, I think we talked about it. It's the community. It's the social aspect. That's what made Halo great, and that's what brings everyone together. Unfortunately, 343 dropped the ball, but I don't think it's over yet. They have an incredible game here, and I think if they really knuckle down over the next year, we could have one of the best Halo games. But until then, we have a bit of a rocky road.
action, you just need a new paint job?